Hi there, I'm Jules from WILDCOAST. In this video, I'll be walking you through our Tidepool experiment created for grades K through 5. Before I begin, there's some important information that you should know before starting the experiment. WILDCOAST works with the Ocean Protection Council, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and many others to manage California's network of marine protected areas in order to protect and restore the ocean's habitats and also increase the health, productivity, and resilience of the ocean's ecosystems. In California alone, there are 124 marine protected areas, or MPAs, that encompass 16% of our ocean's waters. MPAs can be thought of as underwater parks, similar to national, state, and regional parks on land. MPAs protect a wide range of ecosystems, including kelp forests, sandy shores, and the rocky intertidal. This simple science experiment will allow students to make their own mini tide pool and explore what exactly happens during low and high tide. The species that live in tide pools, or intertidal zones, are subject to the rigors of both the land and the sea, going from completely submerged to only occasionally wet within just a few feet of space. MPAs limit or prohibit which intertidal organisms may be taken by humans, reducing the stress and safeguarding resources of species within this dynamic environment. For this experiment, you'll need a dishpan or plastic bin, lots of rocks or stones of various sizes, sand if it's available to you, or dirt, toy sea creatures, and water. You can start by filling your pan or bin with rocks of different sizes. You want your bin to resemble a mini tide pool, so arrange the rocks so that there are varying levels within your bin. Then add some sand or dirt to it as well. Next, place your sea creatures throughout your mini tide pool. Before adding the water, discuss with the students which creatures they think will be underwater first. Once your tide pool contains its rocks, sand, and sea creatures, add 1 pitcher or 1 cup of water at a time. Take note of which sea creatures the students think will be covered with water first. Continue adding water until you reach high tide. Once you reach high tide, you will notice how all of the animals are underwater. Now, before simulating low tide, discuss which sea creatures the students think will be exposed to the air first. Then, begin removing 1 pitcher or cup of water at a time until you have reached low tide. Notice how at low tide, most of the sea creatures are exposed to air. This tide pool experiment is meant to facilitate what actually happens within tide pools during low and high tide on the beach. I hope it engages the students in conversation about MPAs and also aids them in visualizing the ecosystems within their local tide pools. This experiment should instigate questions like what type of resources and species MPAs prohibit from being taken, how the sea creatures exposed to air and sunlight the longest might protect themselves from drying out, or where the closest tide pool or MPA is to the students. If you need any further information, you can visit our website at wildcoast.org and click our Resources tab. If you would like to learn more about marine protected areas and tide pools, check out our Desiccation Lab, also found under the Resources tab. But most importantly, I hope you had fun with it.